Good morning, students. We had started with this chapter, Air and Atmosphere. What is air? The atmosphere of Earth in the layer of gases, commonly known as air. Once more. The atmosphere of Earth is the layer of gases commonly known as air. That means it's an envelope that surrounds the Earth's. We call it atmosphere. Air is present everywhere around us. Air is present everywhere around us. Can you see it? No, but you can feel it. The container and vessel which appears empty to us are filled with air. For example, if you take an empty bottle, in reality it is not empty but filled with air. There is an experiment which I had asked you to draw it also. Even when we turn an empty bottle upside down, the air remains in it. That means empty bottle also contains air in it. Now, we say that air is a mixture of gases, or air is a mixture and not a compound or an element. Now, why do you say that air is a mixture and not a compound? Because air is mixture of various gases. Okay, the composition of air is not constant. It varies from place to place, from time to time. If the air is a compound, it would always have a definite composition by weight. That means the composition of air. When we are talking the composition of air, talking about it, what it means, air is a mixture of gases. You have already studied. It contains almost 78 to 79% of nitrogen, 21% of oxygen, 0.03% of carbon dioxide, and there are so many other what you call gases present in it. Now, the different components of air retain their identity. That means their properties will remain the same. The properties of air represents the average of the properties of its component gases. That means if it is a mixture of oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, the properties of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, oxygen will remain the same. It will not be altered. The components of air can be readily separated by simple physical method. That means all the components present in the air, for instance, nitrogen gas is there, oxygen is there, carbon dioxide is there, water vapor is there, noble gases are there, pollutants are there, moisture is there. It can be separated by physical means. Now remember, had it been a compound, then you couldn't have separated by physical means. Are you sure? Did you understand? Good. Now, no energy is evolved or absorbed when a sample of air is obtained by mixing the components of gases in proper proportions. Now, these are the reasons why we say air is a mixture and not a compound or an element. Now, let us take a look at the composition of air. Nitrogen is the major constituent of air. Why? Because 78% of the atmospheric air contains nitrogen. Oxygen, which is a life-supporting gas, it contributes nearly 21% of atmospheric air. Carbon dioxide is 0.03%. Inert gases like helium, neon, argon, xenon, these are 0.9%. Water vapor variable, it varies from place to place. That means suppose if you are in Delhi, the content of water vapor in the air will be less, but if you're in Chennai, because it is next to the sea, the composition of water vapor will be more in Chennai. Dust particles variable. Suppose if plenty of vehicles are plying on the road, too many industries, naturally dust particles will be there. Impurities is also variable. It varies from place to place. Now, nitrogen, it is the major constituent of atmospheric air. Okay, and it controls the effect of oxygen in the atmosphere. That means it dilutes the effect of oxygen present in the air. Otherwise, rapid oxidation will take place. Now, what are the properties of nitrogen? It is colorless, odorless, no smell, and tasteless, no taste. It is slightly soluble in water, that means as good as insoluble. It is non-supporter of combustion, that means it does not support combustion. Nitrogen contains the two allotropic forms of solids. Nitrogen gas can be converted into liquid state which is similar to water in appearance. How does it look like? It looks like when you compress it, it looks like liquid water. Now, what are the uses of nitrogen? Nitrogen is used in packaging pre-food and pre-cooked food, and pre-roasted, ready-to-eat food items to keep them fresh. It is done by removing oxygen and filling nitrogen in packets. Okay, so these junk foods also, even your chips, kurkure, and all is being packed in a packet which is inflated with nitrogen gas. Nitrogen is also used for manufacturing fertilizers to increase the yield of crops. Liquid nitrogen is used as a refrigerant for freezing food items. Nitrogen reacts with oxygen, water, and other gases in the air to form acid rain. You have already studied acid rain in water chapter, which can cause widespread damage to living beings and property. So nitrogen and oxygen in the atmospheric air, it reacts with water that is present in the air to give rise to acid rain. That means when the acid rain falls to the earth's surface, it does more harm than good. It will pollute the water in the water bodies like lake, etc., river, and all. And not only that much, even the monuments and the green life. Thank you.